Recording now. So you could always remind me, hey, prof, hey, teach, recording. Okay. So I'll put the chat here. Yeah. So, till now, what we were talking about, guys, you should have a good hardware and try to plan it. And then we're talking about this. So, some recommended certifications. I'm coming from system administration background and cloud. I'm currently a cloud admin and virtualization admin in a company. So, cloud certifications, which are some certifications which are must have. You must plan it, put it on the paper and on the wall, and you must do it in next 8 months to 1.5 year, right? When we say certification, then don't go for dumps. Ever heard of that word, dumps? Or practice questions, just dumps or practice questions for the exam. Just don't go for only those. Understand the concepts, do all the labs, and then yes, then go for dumps. Okay, so but you need to pass the exams, all right? Okay, so here, um, the three exams of Microsoft Cloud, Azure practitioner. Now in North America, you will see more jobs on Azure if you type Azure in Indeed.com or LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very good in job search as well. You should create a very good profile there as well. And So Azure jobs are more a bit easier to find. And if you have Azure plus AWS, that's excellent combination, right? So Microsoft Cloud exams for Azure practitioner. Some of you have said that you have done Azure fundamentals and AWS practitioner exam, so that's very good. And those who haven't done this exam, do it ASAP, right? Practitioner, Azure, or fundamentals, do it now. Okay. If you're going for Azure Administrator, so it's AZ 104. This is a bit more tougher, exam, but it's a must-have exam, certification, and all the labs, obviously. So Azure Architect, after that, you can go. So first you understand inside out of the cloud, Microsoft's cloud, and then you go for its security. Some students go for security course while they don't understand inside out of the whole infrastructure first, right? So always go after you have understood inside out of the infrastructure. So these three are must have, actually four. This one you can just do it. Go ahead, do it next week. Okay, so one exam of Microsoft. Well, if you can go for email, understanding of the email infrastructure, and it should be in your resume as well, that I can handle companies' email infrastructure, because email is the main. You know, okay, kids. Wow. Okay, so email is the backbone of the company, right? So that's why if this Microsoft 365 Exchange Online is there in your resume, that would be very, very good. Understand one more important thing is Intune. Maybe some of you heard about it, MDM, mobile device management. Uh, so these two are must have as well. Even don't go for exam, just put the skills there that I can handle, I can secure and make all the email of the company compliant. So Microsoft Exchange Online, at least learn the skills. And Intune, how do you deploy software and secure all the thousands of devices from a cloud platform of the company? So it's all the cell phones, tablets, and laptops and desktops. How do you handle them all? So this is that course. So at least this one or these skills you must have, and this also you must have. These are two skills you should have. And then there's VMware VCP7. We're going to be talking in detail where VMware stands now in today's environment, in today's company data centers, because everyone's talking about cloud. Then VMware is all about uh, local companies branch data center virtualization, right? So how is it very important still? Haven't everyone gone to the cloud? So not yet, not all. And well, there's a hybrid environment. We're going to talk about that. Citrix is okay because it is all about application virtualization. It's still in, it has its cloud presence as well. It's good to have once you have must have courses done. ITIL, definitely, it's change management. Companies always are interested if you are managing changes. What does that mean anyway? you're trying to upgrade something. You're trying to upgrade an application, an OS, and hardware, changing branch. So did you get approval? Do you have a plan B? Do you have a plan C? Did you document everything? Are you purchasing something more? Are you upgrading? So that is all ITIL, change management. So if you've done this certification, that is really, really very good impression. If it is on your resume that it's ITIL you have done. CCNA must have, because you need to understand routing and switching, and cloud has full networking components, long range of networking components. In VMware also, we're going to talk about standard virtual switches and distributed virtual switch. So networking is a must. If you haven't done CCNA, well, if you have done once and it's expired, at least you know the concept. Just refresh them. But you should mention this in your resume that you have at least done CCNA. If you're CCNP, that's very good. CCNA is a must have, right? Now, RHCSA is Linux. In cloud, when you're creating virtual machines, or if you're going for containerization, that's, operating system is nearly gone. But where virtual machines are, either Windows are used, which is less, and Linux is used, which is more. So if you know something about Linux, you mention Linux on your resume. At least try to know how to deploy a virtual machine Linux, know the folder structure of Linux, and permissions of Linux, and how to share. Then, if you even don't do the RCSA course, try to learn Linux more and more, right? Then at least any one certification, either vendor specific certification like Microsoft Azure security, or Amazon AWS security, right? Amazon Web Services security, or vendor neutral certification of security like CISSP, which are much more tougher, or Certified Ethical Hacker, CEH. So these kind of certifications, at least one security certification should be in your resume as well, right? Okay, so Mike has a raised hand. There's some more. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Uh,
Yep. Any question?
yes,
Yep.
Sayed, I just
Hmm.
have one question. So,
Yep.
you have mentioned that we should have MDM certification.
Hmm.
So, I have worked on VMware Workspace ONE and I
Okay.
have an
Nice.
experience with it. Is it used in the Canadian market? Is it, or,
Wherever VMware is, yes, it is used. But
okay.
how would we know that this skill is required? If you go
Okay.
to the job forums, like I
Mhm.
put VMware there, so how many jobs
Mhm.
are coming up when you are putting a VMware workspace? You will know right away how much in
Mhm.
demand this skill is in the market. So if VMware product is there,
Okay.
definitely this will always be your advantage, big advantage actually. So
Good.
suppose I am hiring someone. I've been doing interview for junior administrator. So
Mhm.
if we don't have that product, suppose, but you have said that you have worked on VMware Workspace as well, and then I would ask in detail, and you would give me the details. So I know that first thing, you're technical. Second thing, your market needs troubleshooters, right? So you're a troubleshooter as well if you're
Mhm.
handling some complicated software. So it's always a benefit to have worked on a complicated environment and put it in your resume. Even if the company doesn't have that product, their administrators would know that, okay, even if there's a new product, you would be able to catch up real fast. So yes,
Okay.
it's always an advantage, but even if it's lesser in the market, but I still need to check that, is it, what's the demand? Cool.
Good. Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Welcome. Okay, there's another question, I guess. Hmm. Somebody else raise their hand. Yeah.
Said Asad here. So,
Yep.
I just wanted to know what's the
Hmm.
career or certification path within VMware? Like for Cisco, you have got different levels like profession and expert and foundation, and there are different flavors like security, enterprise, wireless.
Hmm.
How does the VMware certification path look like?
Yes, we're going to be actually talking about only VMware after this. So I'll be going to the certification page there for the VMware. And yes, they have their cloud side as well. They have their security side, they have their networking side, and the whole data center virtualization side as well. So we're going to be talking in detail about that, definitely. So after this, sure. Okay.
Hello,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
raised my hand. So I
Oh yeah.
wanted to
Sorry.
know, I know that to write a VMware certification, you need
Mm-hmm.
to have taken a VMware authorized training. So will they consider this an authorized training for us to take the exams? Thank
That's
you.
a excellent question. And yes, the good thing is this is a VMware certified academy, and it's a authorized partner. Otherwise, yes, it has happened that students did a VMware course from a academy and then they realize it was not a certified or authorized academy. Then, if you haven't done a course in an authorized college, you cannot give the certification as well, right? So yeah, here you can. And yes, the vouchers at the end of the course, I'll be then letting you know, or at the middle of the course, how to get the 70% discount voucher for the exam, because it's going to be 250 US dollars if you give the exam yourself. But obviously you're doing a course here, so it will be 70% discount, so it would be like 69 or $70 US dollars. So don't miss that opportunity of giving the VMware certification. But you're definitely, we're going to be going and checking more about uh, the paths of certifications in VMware. So as I was saying, that security. Any other question? No. Okay. So as I was saying, that either vendor specific certification or vendor neutral certification, uh, plan it at least to have one security certification. So companies could have that confidence in you that yes, not only that you're going to be handling their critical applications and cloud infrastructure, but you know how what's the logic behind how to secure and make compliant all the products in the company. So one security certification is a must. You can plan that. Also, obviously, Amazon Web Services, a very crucial certification. If you have done the fundamentals or practitioner exam for AWS, that's very good. Those who haven't done, go for it. Do it either Azure fundamental or this one. At least do. If you've done both, that's very good. But yeah, main aim would be this guy, AZ104 here, and this guy, AWS Solutions Architect Associate level, at least associate level. These two are must-have certifications that you should plan to have. And obviously combination of then VMware, Azure, AWS, one security and one networking and change management. It's a mouthful, obviously, one this, one that, one this, one that, but obviously it's going to create a excellent profile for you when you are going or looking for jobs in the market. Many of you have experience, so you will not have a lot of issue getting a job. It's sometimes, experienced people are also not getting a job. That's what can I say? Bad luck maybe, but otherwise, there are jobs coming. I'm searching for jobs and posting in that group. And I can see so many jobs lined up that I could not post that day. So next day I post that. Uh, so there are many jobs in IT, but obviously there's a very tough competition as well. So again, hard work, hard work, hard work, and that is understand the concepts, repeat the labs, and yeah, if you can, then do the certifications as well. Very few students I've heard that during the Humber course, they have done at least Azure or AWS certification, or any one of those certifications. So start that certification plan right now, starting if you haven't done practitioner or fundamentals course for Azure or AWS. This is something I would say take 2 weeks, next 2 weeks, and give it. Well, understand it, okay, at 3 weeks, right? But do it ASAP. It looks good in your resume when you're looking for job. If you haven't gone for AZ104 or AWS Solutions Architect Associate. Okay, guys, so this is just a plan. It's always a combination of skills that will get you a good job, good paying job, right? It's not going to be just one course or two courses and then, sir, will I get a job after that? No. So I also had to go a long way to get a job, good job. So it's always hard work, and if you plan it right and you give enough effort, then 8 months to 1.5 year, you should be earning 40 per hour, 45, 50 per hour. 50, wow, that's good, man. Okay, anyway. So the thing is that if 4,000, $5,000 per month is coming to your pocket, that's good. And now is the time to really work hard for that. You have a plan, or you can just add or remove some more courses here and make a plan, put it on the wall, and aim for 40 per hour job by 1.5 year now, from today, right? So how can you do that? And then go for the details, and maybe 5 hour per day, 4 hour per day. Are you consistent, or did you touch the subject after 3 days or 4 days? And so it's not going to work. Then increase the years to 3 years, 4 years. But 1.5 year, 45 per hour, put it on your wall, and yes, you can achieve it, because many of the previous batches, many have achieved this. So it's not a myth, it's not a story, it's not impossible, it's happening around you. So I'm sure you are dedicated enough and you're going to really give it your 200%, right? Okay, so then we go for what's the exam strategy for that? Um, well, first of all, what VMware offers is that if you are doing a course with VMware Authorized Academy, as we just mentioned here, so you just have to give one exam. This is an old picture. I should remove that. But they're going to give you 70% discount for that. So the voucher will be or can be requested at the end of the course, and it's gonna be after voucher. After you get the voucher, obviously you just have to pay what $70 US dollars still, and instead of 250 US dollars. And VCP7 certification is about to expire because VCP8 is here, right? Like it's not. Uh, so why don't we just go there? And they do expire certifications fast. Maybe they've increased that time, but always look for the expiry dates for the certifications that are there. But the knowledge and experience and implementation of the labs will give you a very strong base to prepare yourself for VCP 8 as well. No big architectural difference there. You can do it. It's just that did you really work hard? Did you really understand the concepts in this course? It all depends on that. Now, I'm on the page here where certifications are mentioned. I'm just going to copy that in the chat in Teams. In Teams chat, you can always access anytime, and our whatever links I put there, and I'm going to put that these links in our WhatsApp group as well. So it will always, those links always be there, and obviously in the slide that I will be sharing with you, it's already actually on the Blackboard. So here we go for data center virtualization. There are certifications here: VMware Certified Technical Associate Data Center Virtualization 2023. Then there is VCP. That's what we are doing: VMware Certified Professional Data Center Virtualization. Then there's beyond that is design, VCAP, and then there is deploy here. Then the PhD or doctorate of that, VMware Certified Design Expert Data Center. So all that, this is the path. My suggestion is, because you need to know many types of skills, I've given you a plan here. You can add, remove courses to that plan, but make a plan and 1.5 years, as I will keep reminding you. But even if you just do one certification here, I think that's good enough. This is tough enough because you don't really need to go for. Suppose you have, um, a career. You really want to go with VMware products. Then there are lots of products here. There's network virtualization there. There's cloud management and automation there. This is data center virtualization, right? So that gives you very good start in, you can say that, hey, I know VMware line of products there, because this is their flagship one, the data center virtualization. But if we keep going down here, for other certifications, then they have a lot of, there's vSAN certification there, specialization certification, there's monitoring and automation is vRealize certification. And then well, there's master specialist, you are consultant, you want to go for consultancy. And then there's cloud foundation. They don't have their own any competitive cloud presence, but they do this. So VMware on Azure, if you go there, um, Azure VMware solution. So Azure VMware solution here. And what that basically offers is that a company has, okay, I always go for diagrams and I use the most advanced tools of all times, paintbrush. Okay, so here, suppose you have here Toronto branch, right? And Toronto branch, and you have here VMware, like you have first of all the hardware. Let me grab those diagrams from OneNote on my other screen. I'll just put that. Excuse me. And where are my diagrams? Okay, so you will have here physical servers, obviously. Those physical servers, many of you have handled those physical servers. You install a hypervisor on top of that, either Hyper-V, or you install ESXi, which is VMware's hypervisor. Anyone knows what hypervisor does? One liner?
Exercise I use.
Right? It does what? What's the benefit of that? Benefit is that it hosts virtual machines. So on top of that, you can place a virtual machine. Virtual machine can have an operating system inside. So there's Windows or Linux OS here, and there's an application here, right? So you just on one hardware, you can have lots of virtual machines. Suppose you have 1 TB RAM inside this hardware. Suppose you have 32 core processor or 64 core processor. That's huge and expensive, and you have like terabytes and terabytes of storage with SAN, storage area network, right? So you can have like 20 virtual machines that act like a physical machine, one OS, app OS, app OS, app OS, right? So you have a branch here. What I'm trying to say here is just for that one particular question or a concept, that if you have expertise in VMware, and the companies have cloud presence as well. So there is Azure cloud, right? So if I go back to where we started this discussion of Azure VMware solutions, Azure is a cloud. They have their own data center. Why would they even need to collaborate with VMware, right? So they have that solution. VMware is always in the data centers of your company's branches, right? And it has virtual machines. Virtual machines has the most critical thing for the company, their application. And even more critical than that is obviously the data, right? Now the companies realize that, hey, we can really squeeze our budget. I mean, we can really save millions of dollars if some of our work or all of the work ultimately one day could go to the cloud, because it's someone else's data center. And if we put a virtual machine here in Azure or AWS, then we don't have to really support the cost of keeping our own data center. And the cost of data center per month, the property cost of the property here, suppose it's a 5-story building and the full 1-story second floor is your company's data center floor. You're paying for that, for its security, for its electricity, hydro bills, right? And then the contracts with the hardware companies. So Azure has its own data center, and hundreds of data centers across the globe. AWS has their own data centers, and why don't you rent those data centers, migrate your virtual machines from VMware environment to Azure cloud, which is Microsoft's data center. And many companies have this environment, which is also called hybrid, where they have some critical work in VMware infrastructure in their own data center, and some of that is in the cloud. So what they do is, okay, let's migrate the virtual machine from VMware infrastructure to Azure cloud or AWS cloud or Google cloud. And sometimes they migrate back the machines as well. Suppose on the cloud, the application that was installed inside the machine did not really uh, give a good performance what it was giving here, so you can migrate back as well the same virtual machine to VMware environment. So this migration back and forth, data exchange back and forth, VM virtual machine back and forth, even you can have active virtual machine here, and it's passive virtual machine there in the cloud. And you can actually failover. Suppose there's something happened to the data center, so it can fail over to the passive becomes a new active machine, and all connections, all the end users are connected here, right? So you can do all that. So VMware has done collaboration contracts with Azure, and so this is Azure VMware and VMware on AWS. So they have done that too, because some companies prefer to go for AWS for whatever services they like and the cost. And some companies go for Azure. So VMware Cloud on AWS. AWS also says, hey, if you have, and they know that 80% of the companies in the world have VMware infrastructure. So if you have your virtual machines on VMware infrastructure and you want to move them to cloud, then there's a collaboration contract there, which means basically that you can easily move back and forth any of your critical data from your local branch to whichever cloud service provider CSPs you prefer. And it's going to be the back and forth movement will be seamless. And you want to take benefit of many of the services of the cloud. You think that it was not giving you performance, or it's a bit more expensive, you can move back the virtual machine as well. So you can do all that uh, with those collaboration contracts. So it's not like a company has VMware and they're stuck with it, that, oh, hey, how do I move it to the cloud? So they have collaboration contracts with the main cloud providers. What about VMware on Google Cloud, right? GCP. So Google Cloud Network Monitor, because the mainstream Azure, so Google Cloud VMware Engine. Okay, there you go. So they should have it because they are really reaching the top as well. So they also have the same collaboration contract with VMware. If you want to migrate for good, or you want to keep the cloud environment plus on premises, because many of the large companies would not they don't want to put all their critical data, critical virtual machine, business critical infrastructure in somebody else's data center. So they would want to have, their own critical infrastructure or critical data in their own data center. Plus, you know, many of the majority of the CEOs, I've seen many companies, I keep giving interviews in some companies, and there are many big companies with very good budgets, and they haven't even started thinking about going to cloud, but they are lesser in number comparatively than those which are having 10%, 20%, 30%, 50% of their business critical workload to cloud, and 50% suppose and it's still in their branch, and they are not willing to put everything there. Suppose there's a disconnection, there's an outage in the cloud, so they're just sitting and waiting for the other company to, hey, can I have my work back? I'm losing like millions of dollars per month, per hour. So it could be anything. So that's why medium to large size companies will have VMware for quite some time to come. But what you will find nowadays is this environment hybrid, where if you have done very good labs on AWS, you're really expert in AWS or Azure, and when you face the interview, you will ultimately be facing VMware questions. This happened to few of the students who only went for cloud courses and gained a lot of expertise. And when they started giving interview in very good companies, they started asking, okay, we have VMware, and I know that you're good in Azure or AWS, but we need to move back and forth our virtual machines or move our permanently the virtual machines to cloud. So do you know VMware? Because if the machine is being migrated and there's something wrong with the connection and it goes back, I mean, do you know the environment of VMware? So then the students had to come back. Okay, sir, I need to do VMware course because it was clearly a cloud job, but they were just started asking VMware questions as well. So companies do mention that as well, and I showed you on Indeed.com that you type VMware and there are pages and pages of so many companies that require this expertise, this knowledge. So it's pretty strong. It still has pretty strong presence in the market, right? And that's where VMware is right now. It's hybrid environment. So you're doing this, you're doing that. You will have to do this as well. At least mention in your resume all the major features once you understand the concepts and repeat the labs. If you do the certifications, that is very, very good. That would be excellent work, right? So if I go back here, so this means first of all, we're not stuck. Companies are not stuck with VMware having in their own data center. Companies can easily move back and forth. There's mobility there. There is easy migration strategies there. Okay, it's not easy, but yeah, there are effective migration strategies there. And yes, you have to know that. Aim for 40, 50, 60 per hour, right? Then yes, you need to know inside out of VMware. AWS, you're already learning, I think, in this program. And well, uh, if you can try VMware virtual machine migration to AWS, wow, that would be amazing. There are so many labs, so many YouTube videos. Okay, remind me at the end of the course, maybe we can try on this environment. Okay, so to migrate one machine, better do it on your own hardware because AWS 1 year subscription you will get easily. Okay, so here, if we go down, yeah, that's what I was explaining, and this is the diagram in the slide as well on Blackboard. You
Excuse me,
can just
sir.
download. Yeah,
Excuse me. I raised
yeah.
my hand. Please, if you can go slow down, please.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you,
like
sir.
done. Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So welcome. And yeah, I trying to cover more, but I'll be slower now. So always better to group together and do certifications. It's always better to do that. I used to create. I used to tell students in Humber many batches ago that create a group of um, create a big group of certification related with certification objectives. So you would create a group, you would go for, okay, let's do this certification, that certification, this certification, and then look for resources where you can pass exams. Some of you know what I'm talking about, but there are some websites that let you clear a lot of exams, but obviously just passing the exam would not get you the job, would not get you the job. Yeah, interview will be already like you need to know the technology inside out to really get the job. But recruiters do get you get their attention when you have lots of certifications. So yeah, I don't know why I stopped this, but otherwise I would make a full all the class would just assign one guy, and one guy would purchase membership to some site, exam prep site, and then you would download questions and practice questions, and start giving exam. And by 1 year, you would be done with 7 or 8 certifications. And there you go. 1.5 year, you're ready for 30, 40 per hour jobs. Okay, but the whole group would just go dedicatedly for that. And yeah, you have to do all the labs still. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, some of you know, so those who know can discuss that with others. But that's what used to be a very effective strategy to give at least 3 or 4 certifications. Okay, and yeah, this class is so Asad says which is the recommended site, if any. Yeah, there's examtopics.com. There's exam. Okay, there are many actually. I'll put it in the WhatsApp group, right? And you can visit all those and check some of the reviews and stuff. Okay, so here, oh, Junior says he can help. Thank you. But group together and plan it 1.5 year, at least 6 or 7 certifications should be done with proper preparation, proper labs. I can give you lab material for many of the courses as well. Uh, so just be ready to work hard, right? Okay, here there's a okay guys, in your college email, did you get any email that mentions the word D2L or Brightspace? You can search in your college email the word Brightspace if any email came from there. What is this? It is VMware's official student portal. And from here, you can get, oh, why did I not mention that? VMware software 2-year keys, which cannot be used commercially, but you can download VMware software and legit keys for the hypervisor of VMware and vCenter, which is the main application that we will be working on. So this is anyone, if you have made a search, anyone has found Brightspace, email from Brightspace or D2L? No? Yes? Maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, I got
Yes?
it.
Yes, we have
Yes.
received.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so guys, first thing you have to log in from this, those who got it. Those who didn't, you should be emailing the course coordinator, right? That if you may please let us know uh, when we can get invitation from official VMware student portal or student site. And benefit is obviously the big benefit is this voucher, and the other big benefit is 2-year keys, right? And there are other benefits as well, but do you have access, and can you successfully, anyone has successfully logged in as well to this Brightspace VMware?
Yes.
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 Oh,
Yes.
you guys are smart. Good, very good. Guys, one more thing I would request, please help others who don't have access. This is the link. I put it in the chat for the Brightspace. Does this link also work? This is the same link that you got from there. If not, then please put the link where what is working for you, right? Um, so please do help others. You're a group now, and those who don't have access, please, yeah.
Sorry, sir. Are we using the same Humber username and password?
Guys, how did you log in? So there are actually 2 types of username passwords, and that's always confusing.
You have to
Uh,
register. It's a registration. You have to go through the registration through the link that you received to your Humber college email, not your personal email, but the Humber email.
Yes,
it
yes,
starts
I
with
used it, but
N010.
invalid username or password, I don't know.
No, you have to register first.
You have to register and create the username and password.
Correct.
And that username password uh, doesn't have to be your Humber email. It could be any username and password, right?
No, it says that you
So,
have to register it with the Humber user
Humber.
email ID.
Yeah.
Correct.
Sorry,
Humber
sorry
email.
guys. I checked my Humber email and the email is in there. So for those one that didn't receive the email, check the Humber email. Should be in the Humber email
so
and not the personal email.
all right. So is that the Humber portal? I'm quite or what's the link to the email itself, or is it the Humber portal?
We have the 365. Remember that you received the 365 access with the
Okay,
Office 365,
okay,
and you have an email there.
Okay, let me try that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys for helping each other, but try to, even if today you don't have access, I mean, within 1 week or 2 weeks, sometimes it takes 2 weeks. So Psycho is saying, I do not have access to Humber email. Is someone having same problem? So you should talk to course coordinator, or how would you do that? You don't have access to email. Well, access to email is one of the basic thing. You can call the technical support. If anyone can share the number, technical support in WhatsApp group, or okay, there you go. Okay, guys. So that's another thing. Brightspace, you should get an email and you should have access to that. Then inside you can explore. There are software keys, and there is a documentation there that how to request software keys, right? Instead of starting this process of getting software keys, requesting software keys for VMware products at the end of the course, maybe at the start of the course, maybe after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, when we have more familiarity with VMware products, then you can request those keys as well. It's for 2 years, right? But this is really beneficial. Try to have access if you don't have, and try to explore it as well. At the end of the course, do remind me, so I'll be requesting VMware, or the Humber management will request VMware to give you the vouchers. That would be at the end of the course, right? Okay.
Question.
So yeah.
We will keep in the email address, the Humber email address forever, or until the course finish ends.
You have to ask that. I still was not able to get it, or yeah. So please do ask that from Humber. So how long do you have access to that?
Okay.
And I think it's gonna be few weeks to few months, but not more than a year. But
Right.
you should know exactly when the access finishes, and before that, and yes, obviously the access to this will be finished as well. So whatever benefit you can take from this site,
Okay.
better start taking it ASAP.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so that's one thing. It is being recorded here, the class. So you will get the class videos on uploaded to the Blackboard, right? And but the bad thing about this is that those recorded videos get expired and deleted by Humber. By the end of the course, they're gone, right? So I have a YouTube channel as well, where I upload my IT courses and all the latest jobs that are coming in this Greater Toronto area. So there I will also upload the video, and only you guys will have access to that. For that, I would need your Gmail, because YouTube authenticates with Gmail only, right? Because we're gonna be using vCloud, so I cannot publicly expose the video. vCloud is internal infrastructure of Humber. So I'll be then keeping the videos there, and you will have forever access to those videos.
Okay, can we send our Gmail addresses to the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, you can do that there on WhatsApp. You can let me know your Gmail, and I'll keep on adding. And then after
Thank
the
you.
course, you have to keep the Gmail open to access the videos, right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys. So this is just the forever access side of it, and if you can put the Gmail there on this WhatsApp group, because then I will collect from here and put it there. Once the videos are deleted, then you can access the videos on the other side, on my YouTube channel. Okay, so here, that thing done. There is one more access that I need to talk about, and I had to add you guys there. So I'm going to be giving a link to our lab, which is the vCloud environment of Humber, right? Guys, let's take a quick break here, and let's come back, and then, well, it's halftime, right? So halftime we always take a break. So I will put here the time. So class starts at, so it's 8:04, 8:14, 8:24, 20 minutes break. And we continue with, we make sure that you have access to everything before we start the labs. And then obviously the introduction to all the topics as well. So we're going to be doing all that right after these messages. There are no messages. Just take a break. Okay. So, okay. We meet at 8:24. I'll mute the mic and close the camera. All right, guys, are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we
So
can.
yes,
All
yes we can.
right. Yes.
We're good.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So let's get moving. Okay. So what we were talking about was an access to the vCloud, and I'm sure you have that invitation in your email, or I'll just give you the link and try to log in from there because I added you all, and you should be able to. Let me just grab the link. Can you access vCloud? There it is. And yeah, this is the college ID at humber.ca. This is all you're going to access, but let me just show you first. So VMware Cloud Director, login as an integrated user. I'm gonna just copy this link, and you can just click that link and try to log in and let me know if it worked. It's in both WhatsApp and Teams. Anywhere you go and click it, you should see this screen. And I'm gonna click login as an integrated user. That's the only way. And you see this username password, right? I then, oh, okay. I'll go to Google that had remembered my credentials. Okay, so, yep. So I am logging in like this, N010, right? And the password is saved. So guys, are you able to log in successfully? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes. Yes, I could.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, everyone. So you can also put it in the chat. I'm gonna put it in Teams. Are you able to log in to Humber V Cloud? So that's in the Teams chat. So you can go to Teams chat and you can put yes. Okay, Mayank says yes. Mehdi says yes.
So are we choosing, has your academy admin already registered you, or do you already have an account?
Guys, what have you chosen from there? Already have an account, right? Okay.
I just tried
yes.
the Humber
You have to
credentials.
create it.
Sorry, can you send the link, please?
Yeah, it's in Teams chat and it's in WhatsApp as well.
I
Yeah, it's
didn't
new.
find-
Okay, yeah, there was a yes, yes, yes. So I'll just put the link again. There, it's in the Teams chat again. Mehdi's in, Danilo is in, Amin, Asad, Tarani, they're all yes. Tosin is yes. Okay, that's a lot of yeses. Okay, Kalichi is yes.
Sorry, I didn't find it in the chat box.
Which one? Teams chat, right?
Yeah, it's at
See.
8:29 p.m.
Sorry, what username and password did people use? I'm trying to log in, but it's asking me for username and password. Is it the Humber College username and password?
You have to register first.
Okay.
Okay,
Register.
so you registered with the Humber email, right, and the Humber password?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No, it's going to be a password that you're going to
A
set up.
personal password.
Sorry, can anyone send the link to me, please?
No. I click on the link. It didn't even, there's no option for register. I'm just saying username and password.
Yeah, so in the username, put Humber College. I see this college ID on my screen, college ID N010 whatever, and at humber.ca. And the password, guys, is it the Humber password, or you have to come up with the password on your own?
I made the registration and asked me for a
It's
username and a password.
Humber
The one that
password.
we
It's
set up.
Humber password.
Number password.
Yeah, Humber password.
Excuse me, guys,
And
can
just
you
the
send
college
the
ID,
WhatsApp
no
group?
at humber.ca. Just the college ID. That's what I use.
Both of
Okay.
them are the same.
Just the college ID, guys. Okay, Cesar, where can
please.
I send that ID? Because I put it in chat, Teams chat. Are you able to click the chat
No,
button?
no, I
You don't see
didn't
the
see it.
Teams chat?
No,
It's at the
right?
top. At the top, you have a bar, and one of them it says chat. You see a ball at the top right side. Well, top middle to the right. At the top of this window that you're looking, where we have the
See this,
screen of
Cesar? Do you
Teams.
see my screen? Cesar, do you see my
Yes.
screen?
Yeah.
Do you see this?
Yes. I don't have the chat
Oh,
icon
I
here.
think you logged in. You did. Oh, your guest. Guest don't
Yeah,
have
that's good
access.
reason.
So you should log in from Humber email and password to Teams, and then you will be seeing the chat. But right now, do you have a Gmail? I can send it there. Do you see
Yes.
WhatsApp?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Just a minute. Okay, Arif, send it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Now I need to register, right? At first.
Or try using the username and password from Humber, see if it works.
No, now I have an icon. Click here to register an account.
So register.
Okay, just a minute.
Okay, who else says yes?
Sorry, I need to put my email address, not Humber address, right? About the email.
Humber email. Humber email.
Humber email. Okay, just.
So Tosin says yes. Kelechi says yes.
I'm not able to log in. It's showing as authentication error.
Did you try registering first?
No, I don't have any options to register there.
Where's the register option? If I sign out from here,
Maybe try using the link that we got on the email, which is this one.
You can share your screen if you want to help and show your Humber, but if it shows,
But
if there's
I have not got an email for this.
You didn't get the email, right?
Yeah.
VMware Cloud.
You can use
It's right there on the chat. I just sent it.
Even I have logged in as guest. I can't see the chat.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
If
I'll
you're
send
logged
it.
in as guest, then yeah, can you send her on WhatsApp or Gmail or other email?
What
Thank you.
should...
Okay. Administration. I think I added everyone. But import user, I can. Those who are not able, they didn't see the invitation. I can add their Humber ID here.
So N0, can I give my ID?
Yep.
N0.
If you did not see the invitation, so N010.
N016.
16.
70. 461.
1. We have author save. So you should be getting an invitation in your email.
Okay, can I give mine too?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
If you didn't,
mine
yeah,
is
what?
N0164
N0164
7361
7.
7361.
You're seeing on my screen, right? It's the correct one.
Hold on, let me check. 73. Yes, correct.
Okay, check your email now. Oops.
Sorry.
Already exists. So I already sent you. You have to search in your email. It's not gonna add you again.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry, sir.
So 7361. You already have been sent an email. You have to search in your email. I cannot add you because it says already exist here. This one, right?
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, Master.
Yeah.
Can I give you
The registration application told me account upgrade is not allowed. This message here. I found this message, so I'm not able to register the account.
Whoa.
Excuse me, sir.
Hey, Cesar, can you give me your ID? But you had the invitation, or give me your ID and I will just add you here. N0.
1 minute. N0166.
Yeah.
37.
37.
18. Yes, 18.
18. 3718, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I already added you. Okay, so it already exists. This means the invitation is already in your email. You just have to follow the
Sorry,
procedure.
sir.
Yeah.
Please, where I
Can you please
find
just type my ID because I didn't receive an email.
Yes.
Sorry, where I
In
can
zero.
find the message?
Hi,
Guys,
Caesar.
yeah.
Hi, Caesar.
Hi.
You can log into your portal by login.microsoft365.com.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Let me write it. Login.
.microsoft365.com.
Login dot micro. Someone has just sent it to me. 1 minute.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Can you please send me this like email because I didn't receive. In 0166.
Yep.
1615 at humber.ca.
Oh, I already sent you as well.
Sorry, but there is no email, sir. Cause like my Humber email is open here, and there is no email.
The only email I got is the one that takes me to the DL2 Brightspace, not to this fast cloud.
Guys, whoever received the email, how does it look like, or where do you see that it is sent from, or the email address?
It comes from info@itacademy.brightspace.com.
No, this vCloud as well.
Yeah, that's for the VMware.
When you log onto the Microsoft, it will direct you to the outlook.office.com.
Okay, correct.
Yeah, when you search on the Microsoft, it will direct you to the outlook.com, and you just click the message, then click the link. That's what happened for me anyways.
Yes. Click the Outlook first, then it will redirect to the email address. Yes, I have the email, but the only email I see, the email is from info@itacademy.bright.
Yes. So click
the
on the welcome, please redeem your VMware subscription first.
So just click here to log in or register an account to proceed.
Then it will direct you to Outlook. Then when you get to Outlook, you click here to log in or register an account to proceed.
Yes, and that takes you to the VMware Brightspace, which I've already done. I'm already in that VMware. I can see the courses and everything.
Yes.
But this fast cloud, I don't have that.
Then you can try with the link, and if with the link it doesn't solve, then you have to talk to the technical support guys, those who are not able to log in. Humber technical support.
So would you also try to check for me my email address?
Excuse me.
So yeah, day one it happens. Yeah.
It's N0
16
47 276.
Okay. Then.
Oh, this is wrong. N016.
Yes. N01647 276.
Okay. So, oh yeah, I already sent you. This means if it didn't reach there, then you have to contact the technical support. In
You
fact,
can check the spam as well, spam junk folder.
yeah, spam.
It
Check your
could
spam or
have come
junk
there.
folder, guys. Yeah, you're right. Good idea.
No, we don't. It's not there.
I have checked it from like yesterday several times. There is something wrong, I
Herbert.
think.
It's
Yes.
Herbert, right? So I can try to search. Where's the search? Serious. They don't have a search. Recent tasks.
It is a recent possible users.
I don't find.
Oh, there's Herbert enabled. So I'm gonna, if I can oh, it's disabled, but I cannot delete it. I want to delete it and then add you again so you could get the email, but it just gives disabled. It doesn't give delete or unlock. Serious.
Okay.
Oh, this means that if they didn't give me the controls, Herbert, you have to contact technical support, that Humber technical support or course coordinator, that please give me the access. The professor or teacher has already added me, but I didn't receive the email. Just explain all that.
Okay,
Guys,
thank you.
this is for all those who I have tried to add, but it says already exist, but you didn't get the email. So please contact the course coordinator and technical support. That instructor has already sent me an email, but I didn't receive it. So explain that, right? Guys, the issues would still keep coming, and it's okay. I mean, we can resolve it in 1 to 2 weeks as well, or before the next week, try to resolve it. And the video recordings will be given to you. Time will be given to you as well to follow the labs. But let me just give you some more introduction, because some issues only get resolved then when you contact technical support. And we have a limited 4-hour time here. So let me just continue with some of the more important information for you. Now, first thing is that for next class, what should be ready? Make sure you can log into vCloud. It's okay if you still can't, then see the lab and follow the recording when you do get access to it, right? So it's not compulsory that you have access. I mean, it's a big college, so yeah, few students do not get access the first week, but when you get it, you can follow all the video steps. Next class, we will start the lab then, and hopefully those who are having issue would have resolved it as well. First, and second thing is, the recording will be there obviously, so you will not miss anything. Make sure you are also part of the WhatsApp class group. Okay, I think everyone is. Next week, log in from portal.office.com with your Humber credentials and then click Teams invitation. So guys, do not log in as a guest. Log in as from portal.office.com. So you could get access to the links, to the chat, to everything, and do not log in as a guest. When you go to portal.office.com, then just put your Humber email and password, right? And you should be able to. Majority of you are already successfully logged in like this. And those who are having issues, please help them. They are your classmates, and they are having trouble going ahead. So I hope you guys are good helper as well.
So how do we log into vCloud?
How do we log into vCloud?
Because we're currently on the academy.
Just your username and your password for Humber. Your N number and your password. That's it.
Is it the same link as the bright whatever?
No, it's the other one. It's the one that it's been posted by.
Oh, on the WhatsApp group. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
See this? I'm posting it again. So fast-vcloud.humber.ca. But yes, some students will have trouble logging into it. So try your best to have access before the next class. And but I will have to start the labs in the next class. Suppose you don't have access, it's okay. Just try to understand what I'm doing. You can ask any questions. And in fact, one more thing that is very, very important that I need to say. Do you have access to it is being official? Okay, get voucher. Okay. There's one more thing. Okay, this is my contact information. My number you already have. And this is my email, sayed.shazad@humber.ca. And my Gmail is this, itguyme@gmail.com. So any way you want to contact me. During the week, I created a WhatsApp group for that specific purpose, that if you are stuck with something, please put it in the WhatsApp group, and there will be many who would help you, who would be ready to help you. And I will also keep looking at the WhatsApp messages, or any errors you get, take a screenshot of the errors and put it in WhatsApp group. This group is there to help each other if you have any issues, right? And another thing is that we're going to be, so there are some topics that I wanted to talk about that are part of the course. Obviously, those are the main topics for which you will be interviewed. In the interviews, these topics also come, and you can give the certification exam by preparing these topics. So this course has what objectives? That's what we need to discuss. First, so there is describe the software-defined data center, deploy an ESXi host, and create virtual machines. So software-defined data center, what is that? Software-defined data center would be that before, so what's a data center? I mean, a company, suppose there's a Toronto branch here, and they want to deploy finance application, or they want to deploy, suppose it's a hospital, so hospital applications, they would purchase, that used to happen, that they would purchase physical servers, and one physical server, one OS on top of it, an app. But then you would need more space. Suppose it's a very big organization, and you would have this type of physical server, maybe hundreds or thousands of them, right? So you will have to pay hydro bill, electricity bill, right? You have to get a bigger property, like 2 floors in a building or 5 floors in a building. So it was pretty expensive, right? And then you would go, then the virtualization came in. Virtualization is that you, on one physical server, you can have virtual server. So virtual server does the same thing what physical server does, used to do, which is to install an operating system on it and then have an application on it. So how about if we have virtual machines created that exactly work like a physical server, but these virtual machines can be accommodated, can be started, can be created on one physical server. So the number of virtual machines you have, that many physical server you don't need now, because whatever this guy was doing, the virtual version of this has it started doing it. This means you need, suppose you had 1,000 physical servers in a company, this one, and you purchase it, each server maybe $2,000, $1,000, right? $3,000. So, and you had 1,000 physical servers like this. Then after virtualization came and everything was transferred to virtual machines, then you have, then you just needed what, 100 or maybe 200 physical servers instead of 1,000 physical servers. So imagine how much money, millions and millions of dollars were saved because of virtualization concept. And VMware was a pioneer of that. So that's why VMware is still on top of virtualizing your data center. So when this topic, we talk about software-defined data center, so this means that the physical server is actually software-defined now. So it's a virtual server, a virtual machine that does exactly what the physical server used to do. There are other network components here as well, right? So if I go to this, now there is network card. Many of you would have seen network adapter. So these are the network adapters. right? These are the network adapters. So we have virtual network card instead of physical network adapters, which is also software defined, right? This is right. And then there is virtual storage. So there's hard disk, computer. So there is virtual disk here. Obviously, everything is virtualized. So we don't need physical disks. We do for virtual machine, there's a virtual disk, virtual network card, virtual switches. So there's a physical switch here, right? Cisco switch. So we have standard virtual switch now. So this is a switch. Many of you may have seen the switch. Each port here connects to one machine, right? One computer. So instead of physical switch, we now have virtual standard switch, although we still have in the branch, obviously, the physical switch, because this physical server has to connect to something, some switch for networking, right? But their virtual versions have been created and the whole data center has been defined by a software. Everything you had hardware wise like this is now created by software and works exactly the same way, even better, right? So that is software defined data center. We're going to go through a lot of these equipment, software defined. We're going to be creating a lot of these. We're going to be understanding a lot of these. So software defined data center, we're going to be talking about that. ESXi host and create virtual machine. So what is ESXi host? So when I was talking about a physical server hosting 5 or 10 or 15 virtual machines, right? So this physical server needs to have a small software called hypervisor. The only job of the hypervisor is to host virtual machines, host VMs, right? Host virtual machines. So when you install hypervisor directly on an empty server, after that, you remotely connect to that hypervisor, and then you can create one virtual machine, put an operating system inside, maybe Windows, maybe Linux, put an application inside, maybe MS Office, maybe a Visual Studio, AutoCAD, or some hospital application, insurance company application, right? Then you create another virtual machine on the same hardware, thanks to the small, thin software called hypervisor that we are able to create virtual machine, and we can create actually 5, 10, 15 virtual machines according to whatever amount of physical RAM this server has, physical disk space this server has, and network adapter and processor this server has. If it has a lot of processing, lot of RAM or memory, and a lot of network card and storage, then you can have much more virtual machines on top of that. We're going to be talking in more detail about that architecture, but when we're talking about that we're going to be deploying ESXi host, so its only job, oops, what did I do? Its only job is to host virtual machines. And thanks to this hypervisor called ESXi, that we can have a virtualization environment. So if I just say some more about this, I'm going to go for another diagram here. So many companies have created hypervisor, right? So Microsoft's hypervisor is, anyone knows what's Microsoft's hypervisor name?
Hyper-V servers.
Exactly, Hyper-V. What does hypervisor do? It hosts virtual machines. It itself is a small software that gets installed on a bare metal empty server. You just purchase a server, you just ordered a server from Amazon, suppose $2,000. All the parts came, you assembled the physical server, physical machine. After that, what you do, first thing you do, you boot from a USB and install this hypervisor. We're going to be installing that, and you're going to see that how it is installed in our virtual environment, of course. But Microsoft created a hypervisor, right? It's Hyper-V. VMware created a hypervisor. VMware's hypervisor is ESXi. Actually, Citrix also has a hypervisor, but it's not really mainstream. Is Zen Server, right? In fact, Red Hat also has a hypervisor called KVM, but there are many hypervisors. So the top one in the market is VMware's hypervisor. Then the second, a cheaper alternative to that is Microsoft, and then Citrix. We are doing a course on that. And again, what I said was that hypervisor gets installed on a totally newly purchased physical machine. You just install the software and remotely connect to it and start creating virtual machine number 1, virtual machine number 2, virtual machine 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever number of virtual machines it can support according to whatever hardware it has. Suppose you purchased 1 terabyte RAM. Now this alone would be what, $1,000, $2,000, 1 terabyte RAM. That's huge RAM, right? So if you have put 1 terabyte RAM here, you can have enough virtual machine. Suppose this virtual machine needs just 64 GB RAM. This machine needs 32 GB RAM. This machine needs 128 GB RAM. So they will all request that virtual RAM from the physical RAM or memory of this physical server. If you put here in this server, suppose 256 GB RAM, right? So obviously the requirement of only 3 machines reaches 256 or even more. What about the other 2 machines? Then you can't install more. So you have, this physical server has to be fully loaded. You have to really purchase an expensive physical server. So you can have like 1 terabyte RAM, and that 1 terabyte would be like 1000 GB, right? So you can distribute that RAM among the virtual machine. So the more hardware you put here in the physical server, the more virtual machines you can create on top of this, right? So thanks to this one software called hypervisor, now we can create multiple virtual machines. It's not now, it's a decade ago where I'm talking about that the virtual machines were created, right? So when we say that deploy an ESXi host, or ESXi, we call it host, we can call it hypervisor, which is the main hero here, right? And create virtual machines on top of that. So we're going to do that all. We're going to understand how it is done and what are the vendor best practices about it, how companies do it. Then the main, okay, every movie has a hero and a villain. So I was saying main hero, it's not, maybe it's a supporting role here, the hypervisor, but the main hero of this whole movie, I mean, not movie, the course, the product is vCenter. So suppose you have here, and I'm gonna grab a picture. Now I'm gonna grab a lot of that. And where is it? Oops. Okay. So suppose you have a lot of physical servers, and on top of that, you have created a lot of, you installed hypervisor obviously on each of the physical server, and there are hundreds of them in a big company, suppose, right? So obviously, first thing, you order the physical servers, they arrive in your company, you assemble them, you put the RAM inside, you put the processor inside, you put the network cards inside, you assemble the whole physical machine. After that, you turn it on, you boot from USB, and you install ESXi hypervisor, right? So you install ESXi hypervisor here, and obviously you go ahead and install ESXi hypervisor on all of them, right? And then you remotely connect one by one to each server. So your boss says, hey, can you install 5 machines here, 5 virtual machines here, and 3 virtual machines, so 5 here, and you go ahead, right? You keep giving, suppose 4 virtual machine and maybe 10 virtual machines here, and 7 virtual machines here, and 3 here, and 6 here. Depends on whatever the actual hardware is. Suppose some physical server has less physical hardware or lower physical hardware, like just 128 GB RAM here, but here 2 terabyte RAM here, or here 2 terabyte RAM, so you have more machines here. So but what happens is, if you have lots and lots of these hypervisors, then remotely connecting to each one and then configuring them becomes a hassle, right? It will take you time then to connect to each one of them one by one and then configure them. How about you go ahead and install a central, a vCenter, that's also a virtual machine inside which there's an application called vCenter. The only job of vCenter is to centrally control all the hypervisors. So instead of connecting to each hypervisor separately, why don't you connect only to the vCenter, and it centrally controls the security of all those hypervisors, and storage of all, how much disk space where is needed for which hypervisor, and then networking of each hypervisor. Suppose there are, I create 5, suppose there are 500 hypervisors. So this one application called vCenter can centrally manage the security, storage, networking, and the CPU, RAM, and disaster recovery. You name it, it does it, right? So disaster recovery features also it controls, like make virtual machines highly available, and migrations. So whatever type of tasks you can remotely imagine to do on those hypervisors and virtual machines, you can do it from vCenter. So our course revolves around all the features of this vCenter. So we're going to be deploying the vCenter from scratch. We're going to understand the architecture of the vCenter, and we're going to go for all the advanced features of this vCenter. But basically, it helps you centrally control a big environment where there's a lot of hypervisors and a lot of virtual machines, right? So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be understanding that. It will come in the exam, especially in the interview. They will be asking about all the features of vCenter. And there, it is a Windows-based. It used to be Windows-based deployment, but now it's an appliance. Appliance means a virtual machine that has an operating system and an application already installed into it. So when we say we're going to deploy a vCenter, we're going to be actually deploying VCSA, which is vCenter Server Appliance. We're going to talk in detail about this, obviously, when the topic comes. But VCSA is a virtual machine that already has an OS pre-installed, and the vCenter application is already installed inside as well. You just need to customize it or configure it yourself. That is called a appliance, right? So we're going to be talking about vCenter, and obviously that's the main attraction of this course. But before that, we're going to be creating the whole underlying environment step by step from scratch, from zero, everything. And we're going to understand what we are doing, right? That's the main thing. Do we understand what we're doing? Or okay, so deploy a vCenter server instance or VMware vCenter server appliance. Yeah, so we're gonna deploy, we're gonna understand the architecture, we're gonna deploy that. Use vCenter server to manage an E6i host. Obviously, when you deploy a vCenter server, actually it's appliance. So, well, you could, in older versions, you could install vCenter as an application on top of Windows as well. We used to do that. Then VMware said, oh, I don't need Windows. Windows always crashes. Windows needs updates. Every month we have to restart. So I'll go for Linux. So Linux is vCenter server appliance, right? And now it's Photon, which is VMware's own proprietary OS. But before it used to be underlying operating system used to be Linux for vCenter. So then obviously when we install vCenter, we're gonna manage ESXi hosts remotely. That's what I was explaining. So yeah, we're gonna understand that configure and manage vSphere infrastructure with VMware vSphere client and VMware vSphere web client. So basically what happens is you need to be on top of a Linux machine or a Windows machine, Windows 10, Windows 11, whichever. To do what? You log in from there to remotely to open the browser. We will install Google Chrome browser, either Chrome or Edge, better Chrome. So from the browser, you're gonna type a URL and it's gonna remotely connect to you to the vCenter. Once you're inside the vCenter, then you can see the whole environment and number of ESXi hypervisors, and you can control them, you can manage them, all the features will be available there. So you have to connect through browser, and that is called web client. So web client, through the web client, you will first connect to vCenter, and then you will manage the whole environment through vCenter. So right, so that's called web client here. But and then if we go to configure virtual networks, so vSphere standard switches, so there are standard switches as well. When you install hypervisor, it has to provide networking to the virtual machines. So yes, we're gonna have standard switches here. So they will suppose this is a switch. So because of this standard switch, virtual machines can connect to the network, and this standard switch in turn is connected to the physical network card of this physical machine. So virtual machines through the standard switch, virtual switch that is, they communicate with each other, share data with each other, and this virtual standard switch is connected to the physical network card of this physical server, and that physical server is connected to a physical switch, right? Where's that switch? Where's that switch? I'm just on the other screen. I'm looking for a diagram. Hey. Yeah, there it is. And that physical server is connected to a physical switch. So this is a switch and you're putting an Ethernet cable here, right? So this virtual machines, somebody's connected to a virtual machine and sending email. So email will go from virtual machines virtual network card to a virtual standard switch that is all inside hypervisor. From the virtual standard switch, it will go to the physical network card of the physical server. From the physical server, it will connect to the physical switch of that branch and to the router and to the internet, right? So thanks to the virtual standard switch, that standard switch is available in all hypervisors when you install it. Obviously, there has to be some networking equipment so that virtual standard switch is there. We're going to spend one class on understanding the features of virtual standard switch inside the hypervisor, right? And that's this standard switch. Then vCenter server to manage, use vCenter server to manage various types of host storage. VMware vSphere, VMFS, NFS, virtual SAN, and virtual volumes, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so what is that? Now, anyone knows what is SAN? So what is it in one liner only?
Storage area network.
Exactly. So this is kind of an example of SAN. That's too big. Okay, so sorry, that physical server. Okay, so this SAN is just like it's a tower, physical tower with a lot of disks inside, right? Those disks are called lons or logical unit numbers. What is the purpose of SAN? Now you see here, these are also disks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I see 8 local disks in this physical server. Now suppose you install some application here in this machine, and that application, suppose it's a database, and it collects a lot of data, and it's big. It needs a lot of space, right? So that database actually need, suppose 50 terabyte of space, and these disks are all 500 GB, 500 GB, 500 GB. So two disk, 1 terabyte, two disk, 1 terabyte, two. So you got total 4 terabyte here. This database needs, suppose, 50 terabyte. Now, where do we get the rest of the space? Well, one solution is, oh, let's put more disks here. But no, there's no space here. Okay, let's purchase another physical server that has more space. So how many? I mean, it could go maximum 25 disks here. It's gonna become bigger and bigger machine if you need space for more disks, local disks. Suppose you need 200 disks here. So I don't think, maybe you've heard about it, but I haven't heard about a physical server that can have 200 physical disks. Maybe if you've seen or heard about it, let me know. But maybe 60 disks, I've heard from one student that a tray comes out and 60 local disks you can put there total. But if you need 200 disks, well, suppose 300 disks. Now what you do? You can't just keep putting locally, and it's also not recommended in a professional network. So then over the network, you get these disks mapped to the hypervisor. One disk, second disk, third disk, fourth. Actually, it's volumes. When you create a, suppose you create a, there are 1 terabyte, 1 terabyte. Suppose these are all 1 terabyte disks, right? So you can create a volume on top of that. So I'm creating 4 terabyte volume, and I am assigning that volume to 4 terabyte. I'm assigning to this. Oh, this needs actually 50 terabyte. Oh, okay. Let me create a volume on top of these disks, and it will be 4, 4, or 10, 10, 10, 10. We can connect, or 1 terabyte each we can connect as well. But we can assign as much space needed by the application by from SAN, storage area network, right? So this is SAN tower, and from there over the network we provide storage. Obviously your network has to be good. That's why fiber optic is used for that, right? Because of the speed and less or no collision. So fiber optic cables, fiber optic switches are used with SAN, storage area network, SAN. And this SAN provides all the storage that is needed by any of those applications over the network, either through Ethernet network or more recommended and but more expensive fiber optic network. So if you need more storage, you need SAN. And SAN over the network provides those disks. Those are shared disks over the network called LUNs, logical unit numbers, or shared disks over the network, right? So you need more storage, you need SAN, right? When I talk about that, there are different types of storages there. Then manage virtual machines, templates, clones. Yeah, if you, that's a day-to-day ticket that you will be seeing in your company, a demand. Hey, sales department, oh, I need this week or by next week 4 virtual machines, and you have some kind of form. Hey, can you fill out that form and let me know? I have some questions, blah blah blah. How much disk space you need, how much RAM you need, how many users will be connected, what applications you will be installing. So you ask all that, and then you create virtual machines for the sales department, suppose. So suppose there are so many demands here, it's a big company, you need to then create a template, which is a machine that already has certain configurations done, and you just make a clone or exact copy of that machine. You suppose the sales department needed 3 machines, right? So you create 3 clones which will have all the required configurations done, like security hardening, like operating systems are patched already with latest updates, security updates, driver updates, other updates, and some of the basic software is already installed. So you create one perfect virtual machine called template or golden image, and you create as many clones of that machine. Clone just means exact copy of that machine. You create 3 for sales department, and then a marketing department says, hey, we need 5 virtual machines. So you have a perfect virtual machine, you create 5 copies of that, and then hand it over to that department. So that is called templates or cloning from templates. We're going to be doing all that as well to understand the process. VApp, we're going to be creating VApp. VApp just is that suppose you have 5 virtual machines or 10 virtual machines, you group them together, you start them, restart them, or shut them down together, right? So you want to do maintenance of 5, 10, 20 virtual machines as a group, then you put them in VApp, and then you start them, restart them, or shut them down together. And normally you want to do it during patching or after patching. Yeah, there's a question. There's a hand raised. Or is it for exercise? Okay. If there's a question, let me know. Otherwise, yeah, we'll continue. Okay, describe and use the content library. So content library is another feature we're going to be creating and discussing about. Content library is like a file server in VMware environment. So if you create a new virtual machine and you need to install a new operating system. So the ISO file of Windows operating system or ISO files, this is just one single file with all the operating system deployment files inside, right? Like you want to deploy Windows 10, Windows 2012, Windows 2016, 2022. So you will download its ISO file. So you want to keep the operating system ISO files somewhere over the network. So when you need them, you can simply deploy them from there, right? For that, content library is used. It's like a file server where you keep your ISO images, scripts, you keep VM templates as well, whatever you may need over the network later, you keep them in content library. So how to create that content library? We're going to be doing the lab on that. Migrate virtual machine. This is the most interesting one and most attractive one as well. The vMotion feature. How do you migrate a virtual machine from one hypervisor to another hypervisor? And why would you want to do that? Suppose this hypervisor is dead slow. It's using 100%, 90% of CPU and 90% RAM during the peak hours of the office time. It's just slow, and users are saying and creating tickets, and you're getting complaints that no, it's unacceptably slow. So do something about it. You have configured the vMotion feature across the VMware environment. So what you do is you can vMotion or migrate or move this virtual machine while the end users are connected to it. It is working, it is powered on. You can migrate or move the virtual machine from a slow performing physical server or hypervisor to a fast performing hypervisor. And at once, all the users will start working normally. So the vMotion feature really saves a lot of time. Otherwise, suppose you want to move during peak hours and vMotion is not configured, what will you do? You will tell all the users, I will disconnect you all, I will shut down this machine, I will move it from one server to another, I will start it, and then I will ask you to connect again. So instead of doing that, a live working machine with user connectivity can be moved from one hypervisor to another in few seconds, and the users would start working right away without any disruption. So that's amazing feature. We're going to configure that, and we're going to prove that vMotion works. We're going to be migrating machines from one hypervisor to another, right? So that's called vMotion. And how to configure that? That would be interesting. And also there's a storage vMotion, which is storage is basically referred to here as the files of the virtual machine. So if you want to move the virtual machine from one hypervisor to another, that is machine is running on the RAM of the hypervisor. You move the memory contents of the virtual machine. We're going to be talking in detail later when the topic comes, but you move the small memory contents of the virtual machine from the RAM of one hypervisor to the RAM of the other hypervisor. But their hard disk file, the VMDK file, virtual disk, right? Virtual disk is all the data of the virtual machine. So virtual disk still lives here on the storage. So you want to change the storage of the virtual machine. All the files of the virtual machine are living here on the SAN disk or LAN. You want to move the storage or virtual machine files from one LAN to another LAN. That is called storage vMotion, right? From one, suppose it's filling up and it has very less space, and you have another storage that has a lot of space. So you can move the files of the virtual machine from one storage to another as well. So I'm going to show you how to do that too in our lab. And monitor resource usage and manage resource pools. Resource pool just means that you can suppose there are VIP machines here. So suppose there are so many machines here, but this one is very business critical. Suppose this one is very business critical. We cannot afford these machines to be down no matter what. So you were told that, right? And we cannot afford them to be slow as well. So the most sought after resource in the network is, in the virtual environment, the most fought after machines fight to get CPU. Machines always fight to get RAM. Hey, I need more CPU. I have so many users that are working, so I need more CPU. Oh, I need more RAM. There are so many applications loaded opening on the machine, so I need more RAM. So always there's a battle between the virtual machines for more and more CPU and RAM during the peak hours. So resource pools just say that, hey, for the critical virtual machines, business critical virtual machines, we're going to reserve these CPU and RAM. And so suppose this machine says, hey, I always need 128 GB RAM and like two cores of a processor, maybe 2.5 gigahertz processing. Always I need that. So you reserve this much processing and RAM for the business critical machines, and whatever is left from this is divided among all the other virtual machines, right? So if you want to reserve CPU and RAM for the virtual machines, you use resource pools for that, right? We realize it's just monitoring and automation. It's a separate expensive license if you want to monitor the whole VMware environment and automate some of the recurring tasks, redundant tasks. Then we have vSphere high availability and fault tolerance. Very, very attractive features there. So high availability, it just means that if the host crashes, the virtual machines will be effectively shut down, obviously because they were loaded on the RAM. RAM is not available because the whole host shuts down for some kind of fault in the hardware, suppose. So in that case, if the host crashes, the virtual machines are restarted on the other surviving hypervisors automatically. That is configured by HA. how does the whole mechanism work? We're going to be talking in detail, but this is how what HA offers, high availability, that if there's a hypervisor crash that happens, then the virtual machines on top of it do shut down, but they are restarted on the other surviving hypervisor. So that is HA, this high availability. And fault tolerance is that the host, first of all, you create an active machine here and it's passive or standby partner on the other host, right? Whatever changes are going on here are being copied per second. Same time they are being copied there as well. So this means that the standby partner of this virtual machine has all the updates till the last second of this machine. Whatever is happening here is also copied here right away. So as soon as there's a crash happened on the host or the machine just shut down for some fault, so it fails over all the services and the user connections to the standby or passive machine. The passive or standby machine becomes the new active machine, right? So here, there's no disruption for the users. There's zero downtime. That is called FT. We're going to be proving how this configures and how does it work. We're going to try to fail over that machine as well. Then there's vSphere replication and data protection. That is replication is across the branch. There is suppose Toronto branch, there is New York branch. So you can there's a virtual machine here and there's a virtual machine here, and you want to replicate changes. There would be asynchronous replication. There will be it cannot be same time because the data will travel to get copied over the internet, over the WAN. So, but you can have across the branch copying also available, right? And data protection is backup. You can take backup through this vSphere data protection. Distributed resource scheduler DRS is just that if you want a virtual machine to be migrated or vMotioned away from a slow server automatically. So before I was talking about vMotion that you can manually migrate a virtual machine when users are complaining, right? But how about DRS is much more advanced. DRS every 5 minutes checks which hypervisor has less CPU and RAM available or it's performing slow and which hypervisor is performing fast. So then automatically it decides that, okay, I'm going to move two virtual machines after calculation. It moves two virtual machines, migrates two virtual machines from slow performing hypervisor to high performing hypervisor. And automatically it keeps on checking the whole environment and analyze and calculates and then keeps moving virtual machines to whichever hypervisor has more CPU and RAM available from the hypervisor that has less CPU and RAM available. So this is all automated. This means you can do some other job. You can not job like some other task you can do, and you don't have to worry about the performance, low performing hypervisors because this will do it automatically for you. So this is really powerful DRS. We're going to configure that. We're going to prove that it works. Then there is vSphere distributed switch. This is the granddad of standard switch. Standard virtual switch is installed automatically by default in all the new hypervisors. But if you want to control the networking of all the standard switches, you have to install the distributed switch here, DSV, so distributed switch. Here you can install the vCenter, and from there you can control the networking of all the standard switches. So we're going to have obviously a big lab for this one as well. And then update manager, obviously you can patch virtual machines. You can apply latest updates to hypervisors. So we're going to do one lab on that too. So there are some many smaller features as well. We're going to be talking about that, but these are the main features that we're going to be going through as a lab in the course. Next week, we're going to be creating, lab from scratch, and we're going to be logging into the vCloud and we're going to be creating virtual machines, 4 virtual machines inside the vCloud we're going to be creating, and you're going to be following me. My suggestion for the labs is that not all students are fast. I mean, some students are new, right? So in that case, um, you know, uh, we have 4 hours only, and I need to show you a lot of labs, practical, right? Um, Now, some students will be stuck. I'm going to be doing the lab, you're going to be following me, and I'm going to tell you, hey, take a screenshot of this page, and you're going to take a screenshot of your lab for that page. And those screenshots will be saved in MS Word document. At the end of the class, you will be uploading those screenshots on Blackboard. I'm going to mark you for that. But I understand that some students may not be very technical. They might be stuck. Whatever I do in the screen, many students will be able to follow along. I mean, better if you have 2 monitors, that would be good. 2 monitor screens is recommended, or one monitor screen and one cell phone. From cell phone, you can just see my screen, and on your monitor, you can just go for following whatever. So when I click, you will click. When I don't click, you don't click, right? But I'll be explaining what I'm doing, and we're going to be doing the lab together. But if you are stuck with some virtual configuration, so configuration, then we can help, but not for long. Right? If you're stuck, like it seems like you're not getting out of the issue or problem, then sit back and try to understand what I'm teaching, and I'll be explaining with diagrams, everything. Then I'll be doing the lab. I'll be proving that it works, all the concepts. So try to let me finish the whole lab and record it for you. Then throughout the week, you can also follow and do the lab yourself. But suppose I troubleshoot with you. Oh, you're stuck. Okay, let me see your screen, and then da 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 da. 10 minutes there. Then another. Oh, I'm also stuck. I connect there. 15 minutes there. Oh, I'm also stuck. Half an hour there. So I won't be able to teach you anything, right? Or very small. We will go terribly slow then. So if you're stuck, I can tell you. You can put a screenshot on WhatsApp. I can tell you, okay, do this. This is click, 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 click. Now, if you're kind of quick and you can recover, it's okay. But otherwise, let me go ahead and record everything for you, because there's a lot of things that I want to show you practically how each configuration is implemented, right? So for that, I'm here to help, but it's just 4 hours in one week that we are having a class. So let me try to show you as many labs as possible. So if you're stuck, my suggestion is, my request is that others who are fast, please take out some time and also configure the labs of those who are slow or not very technical or new to this field. But try to let me do as many labs which I can record, and you will always have that recording, and you can always repeat those labs at your own pace throughout the week before the next class, right? So that's a request. But obviously, if you're stuck, I will help you. But it's either I will keep on helping you, or I will show you the next screens and next bigger, more complicated configurations that will help you in your interview as well. So you can stop me. I need help. Yes, I will help. But if you're stuck, then sit back and let me finish the lab, right? Because there are long labs coming your way. Okay, so that was a request. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to say. Next class, what we need is you having access to vCloud. And then I'm going to explain the whole environment, and we're going to start from scratch. We're going to create 4 virtual machines. We're going to be installing DNS, DHCP. We're going to install even Active Directory. And I'm going to explain what are we doing and why we are doing that, right? And then we're going to create the whole environment carefully. And yeah, on top of that, we will keep on adding more and more features throughout the course, right? So till now, any questions? Otherwise, have a nice night, and see you next week, Thursday, 6 or 6:15. Yeah.
Hello. Yes, sir. Regarding the colleagues of mine who are facing issue to log on to the VM Cloud Direct, there is a link our brother posted. So I tried to access it, then I'm able to log in. So other people maybe they can also try.
That's very good. Thank you for helping. So Herbert is offering, you have a link that they can click and they will be able to log in. Is that what you're saying?
No, actually, there is a colleague of ours posted a link.
Oh, okay.
On the chat. So I was testing, then I used my login, then it worked. So even other colleagues who facing issues to log on,
what about
they can try.
yearly to learning space, right space?
So Unir has shared that. I'll put it in the slide as well and upload.
What about DLE to bright space learning?
Oh, do you have access to that? If not, then that is handled by the Humber technical support. Better contact the course coordinator and tell them, I didn't receive the email. Please, can you send me again? And try to log in.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And guys, try to have vCloud access. This is important for you. And every time it happens that few students are not able to log in. So please contact Humber support, and this link as well. You can try. Yeah, there's a hand raised. Next question.
So what is the minimum requirement of the laptop? It's like 16 GB. Is it a must?
Okay, laptop, you're connecting to the vCloud. I mean, even 8 GB will work. We used to create our environment in the laptops before. Then I used to stress that go for 32 GB laptop, 32 GB RAM laptop. And this configuration was if we were creating environment directly on the laptop, but we will be creating that in vCloud, right? So, and vCloud is this. So we're going to be creating all the virtual machines here in the data center. These are the virtual machines. So you don't need a hi-fi laptop for this course for now, but as a, in the field of IT, we do need powerful machines for one thing or another. Yeah, for this 16 GB is okay. Recommended is 16 GB. If you have 8 GB, it's gonna still work. You should have good internet. That's the thing.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Next question.
Yeah, can we download VMware Workstation 17.0?
Yes, VMware Workstation 7 from that Brightspace you can download, and that's the biggest price there. The VMware Workstation software, which is $300 license, you can download 2-year key. So this means for 2 years you can use it free from VMware for the VMware students. So yes, you need access to Brightspace, D2L, and then you can follow the documentation there, how to request a key for VMware Workstation, latest one, which is, oh, actually you're talking about 7. So I was talking about VMware Workstation that you can install on your laptop. And yes, all the vSphere, vCenter, and hypervisor you can download as well with 2-year key. Same procedure. Just follow the documentation, and better start now because it takes time. In 1 week or 2 weeks, they send the key. Okay. Yeah. Next question. Any other question?
So can we use Mac laptop installing the VM Fusion?
Like, I've been teaching before COVID, we were having classes on laptops, right? So whoever had the Mac laptop was having a lot of issue. Unless if you're very technical, you can troubleshoot. Yes, you can go ahead with the Mac. Otherwise, not recommended for less technical or non-technical students. Better go
So
for Intel-based laptop.
Fusion will support that, right?
Fusion also, yeah, it supports that, and you can create virtual machines inside. we're going to be creating our vCloud, but I have my previous labs where how to configure the whole VMware environment in your desktop or laptop. I can share that lab with whoever wants to know that.
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Next question. Any question? All right, let's have that dinner and see you next week, Thursday, 6 p.m. sharp.
Same link, right?
Thank you, guys.
All right.
All right.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, good night.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Please
you.
send us
I wish
the
that
video.
I wish that one day we will have a
Thank
samosa dinner
you.
today. Thank you, sir. Bye.
Please send us the video. Thank you.
Yeah. Which video?
This one.
Record that you
The
recorded.
record.
Oh, okay. This one. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So yeah.
you.
So this recording will be available by tomorrow. Otherwise, just put a word on WhatsApp. Hey, teach, where's the video? Yesterday's video. So I'll just
Thank you
then
so
Okay.
it will be a good reminder. Otherwise, I'm connected to office from home, so I'm like, so yeah.
At the
Just
end of this
WhatsApp will.
semester, I will definitely message in the group that, hey, teach, where is the samosa dinner?
Oh yeah, samosa. That's my weakness. So yeah, samosa is like, oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a good
All
night,
right.
sir. Bye.
Good night.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
night. Bye bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye. All right. You're welcome. All right. Bye bye. Closing it now.